This is your daily market recap for Wednesday, April 26, 2023. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well.
This is Dan Max at HP Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market review for Wednesday, April 26, 2023. Hopefully you're having a great day. Just let everyone know there will not be a recap tomorrow. We'll be out of town. We'll play in a live poker stream potentially at the Lodge tomorrow with some friends, Ryan Pedigo and Roger Battles. Yeah, if you get a chance, check it out on YouTube. But on that note, let's get into it. So today's action, right? Market pops, flops, chops. More of what we've talked about. It's tough to believe that the market's going to unload completely before the FOMC meeting next week, but earnings buoying things up, bank stuff down. Again, massive tug of war going on right now. After hours, Meta is up, I don't know, at 10% on a joke of an earnings report, but I mean, that's the hardest part, is predicting the reaction. So if you did have some Meta short, hopefully, as we talked about in the live market review today, buy some calls, minimize your position. You never know. And now after hours, maybe you can want to take a stab. But on that note, just again, I think the market is going into choppiness before drop, with the bigger drop to come. We'll see again ultimately how fast, how far, when does it start. Just be careful. As we talked about, the VIX does funny things. So let's go through the evidence so you can see exactly how we're thinking and what our thought process is, so that you can understand, again, trading around positions, managing positions, being patient, knowing the trends, knowing how inflection points work. If you're new to the channel, want to join the Discord room, link is in the description below, and let's do it. Please hit me up on Twitter if you have any questions as well. Always posting what I think is important content on there. There's lots of stuff that are going on all the time within the markets, and I like to keep posting for update purposes so that people know what I'm thinking, especially if you're not in the Discord room. There's a lot going on all the time. So on that note, let's keep it going. So YouTube, check it out. If you are not subscribed, hit the like button, notification bell. There's always tons of stuff going on, trying to keep people informed of how things are going on in the market, these daily reviews, and lots of back to basics education. If you want, please check out thetradingagent.com, www.thetradingagent.com. A lot of stuff here as well for beginners, novices, and just in general about real estate, market reviews, back to basics, what's going on, recommended reading. This website is basically in tune with what I think from the back to basics stage, from beginner to more advanced knowledge as you move forward. Hopefully that helps. So on that note, let's keep it going. CME Fed tool. If you're not familiar, it's time. It's time to save this. Make sure you know what's going on, meaning check it out. Fed's next Wednesday, going to be raising rates as of right now. Keep an eye on this. Save this webpage for yourself. Always know what's going on. Anything over 60%, the markets are not going to try to the Feds are not going to try to confuse the markets. Bitcoin, all over the place, right? I mean, I said watch out for volatility, but man, I did not expect to go from all over the place. I mean, today's action, 27,000 to 29,000. I mean, it's about a 10% range in Bitcoin. Again, as long as it holds 27, it's good. Needs to get over the 30s to really continue higher. Oil, as we've warned, OPEC does not cut huge unless there's demand destruction coming. That pop was fake, in my opinion, as we talked about, because they're probably going to have to cut more, but see what comes into the next support levels. It's tough to know. I've said many times, I wouldn't want to be long oil in anticipation of war, what's going on, but also know that if recession, demand destruction, all that stuff, we've talked about it many times, it's just going to be volatile. So if that's your bread and butter, go right ahead. I'd prefer to do something easier, like not natural gas. It's just going to be sloppy, choppy. When in doubt, please zoom out. If you've watched anything, it's just going to be a while. The dollar, we talked about, I think it's bottoming, but it has to get over the 20-day. That's the key. We've been chopping around, gaps down, opens the lows, closes the highs. Not really a lot to say other than that. Just keep an eye on TLT, as we talked about, in a big trading range. If the TLT goes nuts higher, recession coming, bond yields go lower, or could the market go lower and yields go higher? I mean, we're in this trading range, so just keep an eye on it. I don't think there's much to say other than keep an eye on it. The VIX, as we've talked about, when the VIX bottoms, there's typically a retest at some point, a higher low of some point. So just keep that in mind. Does it have to happen? No, but again, that's where we're talking about trade around the volatility, trade around your positions. I mean, maybe it's just needs to get to 17. I don't know. You have to judge in your own mind what's going to happen, and try and be aware. You're not going to be perfect. You can't nail everything all the time. Thought about the VIX leading the VIX, volatility of the VIX. Look what it did, pulled back today. Now, would it be surprised if it hold the 88 area? I would not be surprised one bit. So just keep an eye on it. SPY. Again, last couple weeks, bulls are just running their mouth like endlessly. We can only go higher. Looks like a head and shoulders top, whatever. If you've watched previous recaps, you know the monthly 20 month is coming in. And man, I'll show you guys again. I'm just trying to make the videos a little quicker for the folks at home doing their own work. Here you go. Hits the 20 month. 20 month curling down is crucial in rejecting it. That is what happens in a bear trend. Again, bear markets are choppy, sloppy, down markets that end with a big whoosh. We have not had the big whoosh. That's in my opinion. Now we're holding some support potentially. Just again, could we trade around 20-day, chop around? Could it unload? Those are all possibilities. So your time frames matter, right? If you're expecting something to happen soon, probably temper your expectations. If you're expecting something to happen in the long term, you're probably going to be right, in my opinion, especially with short. QQQ, same thing, gaps down, chopping around. Put said, hey, watch this zone, chopping around it. Same thing with the 21. IWM, we've said lagging. Watch it break the trend. Oops, and 20-day. Will it fill the gap and hold here around the 170 is a good question. But as we've talked about, the IWM is lagging tremendously, and the IWM leads the market. If you don't know that, be careful. Dia talked about it hitting up into the 340s. What is it doing? Lower high, 20-day. Now again, does it have to collapse? Doesn't have to. It could play the chop game and flop down. Just again, everything, the evidence is pointing to what? Lower lows coming in time. Market is not topping, or sorry, bottom by any means, in my opinion. Bear market rallies, they happen 20%. Keep it in mind. All right, GLD, we talked about. This is kind of a nothing burger. I feel like it's peaked, but could the baby get thrown out with the bathwater? Fed's raising rates. Of course, it could pull back. Silver is showing exactly that, and so are the miners, right? Hitting the range highs. Watch the 20-day. GDX, we've talked about GDX and GDXJ leading. It doesn't look good, y'all. 20-day, if it breaks the low 33s, adios, amigos, sayonara, arrivederci. I guess arrivederci is in it, but whatever. Here we go. GDXJ, talking about below the 20-day, below support. This looks worse. And junior miners will lead, right? Because they're the most exposed into the sector. So just keep that in mind. AG, we talked about hitting the 200-day, flop. AEM, made a slightly higher high over the upper 50s. 20 days key. Again, I expect all these things to pull back. Just naturally. They get hit with the market, gets hit. It's just, they're not immune. Newmont can't even get up to the January highs. Talked about it. Piece of crap. Not acting well. Look at it. Lagging hard. And PAAS, same thing. Hits the 18, 19 level. Backing off. All right, tech. Let's get into it. AMD. Told you guys yesterday to please hedge some of your SMH and your SOX exposure. Talked about this potentially being, again, watch the recap. Said close at the lows. Could be a little trap. There you go. 50-day would be ideal to sell into if you were long it, or if you have your shorts and hopefully took some off. Just be prepared. And you know, I don't know what to tell you when to add back on. I mean, you can use the lows if they break to add back on, or you can wait for some sort of bounce. You can zoom in, maybe find the sweet middle. Nvidia added NVDS today after selling some yesterday. Nice 20-day. Just keep an eye on it. Taiwan Semi, this thing has just been bunk and junk for a while. 200-day, just again, semis don't look good. Micron, wide and loose, chop. Look at this, boom, boink, dink. I don't know. I'd probably watch this area and look to reshort it. I mean, makes sense. Intel, laggy, trash. Talked about it hitting the upside target zone. Bah. Right? There's just, I'm sorry, just the evidence says bear camp. Let's go bear camping. I mean, that's the reality of it. SMH, we talked about. Chop top under the 20-day. Once it gets under the 50-day. All right, here's the next support zone. Better hold the 240. If not, again, bye. Adobe, talked about it. Double top, little like head and shoulders here, 20-day. Again, it's just a matter of when and how far these things go down in time. It's just same thing. Apple, 20 days, probably holding up for earnings, blah, whatever. Just be patient. Try to get the range highs to short, and if you're long it, you better be taking profits and raising your stops. Amazon going to lay off more people, essentially, holding 200-day. I mean, this thing has just been absolutely cooked. Could it pull a Meta and rally some? I don't know. Either way, just please be careful shorting in front of earnings. CRM, 200 area we talked about on the monthly, weekly. Yep, under the 20-day. I mean, all this stuff just paints the weakness in time. It's just a matter of when. Guggenheim, same thing. Earnings, chopping. No one really liked it. No one really hated it, clearly. But in the end of the day, they sold it. Good old Meta. How tricky. Again, their earnings are absolutely crappy, but it's up at 234. When you zoom out, if you watch the live review we talked about, could we get up to, anywhere between like 235 to 240? Yeah, there we are. Well, I had a few puts. Again, took some profits on other ones. Looking to, and again, I've told people this many times. Hopefully you hedged, and if you didn't, Well, that's kind of the mistake you said. I live with my decisions very confidently, and I know I can be wrong. So at this point with those puts, got June's. I guess I'll be waiting them out again tomorrow. I probably will not just close them out because again, it doesn't really make sense. I'll probably watch and anticipate again the market going lower in time. Microsoft earnings flat, rallies. Look, hits fills the gap. See that pink line? Drew that yesterday. Closes below it. NDAQ again. The exchange for crypto. They said they were going to try to put crypto. It's like market believed that for like 3 days. MicroStrategy again wide and loose with obviously senior Bitcoin. It's tough to say. Netflix we talked about being a dog. Got fleas. If you short it up in the 340, 350 area, just lagging, flatlining. Just keep an eye on it. Roblox we talked about they're going to stop giving monthly guidance. They gap down, just a matter of time. Ooh, sayonara. Tesla. Again, things that look bearish. I mean, I hate to be repetitive on it, but that's the truth. We talked about lower highs. The biggest goofball trolls I know are all in Tesla, and here they go. And they're probably still all in, and they're going to probably, one day when it rallies $10, they'll be like, see, this is a great buying opportunity, buy for the long run. Okay, well, just be careful. That's all I can warn you. Let's get into materials, because again, they've been leading down or lagging as well. Here's X right back at the range lows. Again, I'd love to see this around 18 to 16. Nucor popped on its earnings. Again, its earnings were mediocre at best. Hits the 50-day, backing off. Things you don't see if the market's bullish. Caterpillar, been a leader from previous year. Last off October, look at this thing. Donkey stuck. And again, if it pops, I think it's a short. VALE, been lagging hard again. Another material name. Foreign material name. Look at that. We talked about like diesel demand showing global growth slowing dramatically quickly. So is VALE, right? Arrow. Copper's been holding up as of recent, but now it's starting to melt. Will Arrow melt? Again, I like this name. I think it's one of the stronger ones. CCJ, we all like uranium long term, right? We potentially. That's not pretty, man. That candle today. Touches the gap, backs off. Again, I love all these names in the material sector, but I'm not going to buy them and trade them. I'm just looking to short tech. I know money is 10x in tech than it is in commodities, and when the market bottoms, the Fed, not in the market bottom, when the Feds pivot and liquidity comes in, it's going to come out of tech, it's going to go to materials. It's just that simple. It's just a matter of when, not if. But I don't want to be early because they could get absolutely flushed. CF, another name, just we talked about it rallying. Hopefully you took profits. It just looks like it's dead. Mosaic, dead. I'm trying to be honest. Just none of these names really look that good. Keep an eye on it. NTR, chopping around, right? I mean, I could go into more depth about where these I think will bottom, but at this point, it's like we're not even. It's like give it a little time. Like butter it up. Let it butter up. Like let's get a little foreplay here. Let's like give it some. Let's let it warm up before you try to go all in on this thing. Like let it come down to you. You know what I mean? AA, talking about again, another global growth name, aluminum, back near range lows. Oh, financials, so badly want to short these, dismissed the entry, and now it's at the 20-day. Tough. If you're short it, heck yeah. If you're not waiting for bounces, let's talk about it. JP Morgan, because again, we talked about 32.50, 33.50 on the XLF. We talked about the monthly bounce, everything. It's just all whatever. JP Morgan, this is when I think they're going to get screwed by their deposits in time because they had what they're paying on their deposits is actual joke. People are going to start moving money around. People are moving money around. They're taking money out of the market, out of the economy at a fast pace. I mean, I'd like to see anything in that box. Morgan Stanley holding up a little better, but it's down a little bit. And essentially, like today, 200-day. Again, anything by 90, I think makes sense. Goldman Sachs. Talked about 200-day chopping around, a little trap over it, watching the 50-day. I think 340 makes sense to me to do a little shorty short. XBI, what did we say? Pop, flop. Yeah, hits the 200-day. Oversold, should be up here. Keep in mind, remember, baby bios, tech. All right, lagging. I mean, it's just all this stuff just looks horrendous. Again, people think about leadership. They look at the market. They don't realize the market is being led by a few names. The overall action deeper when you go under the hood, you see the market's not strong. It's just a matter of if, not when. Solar, got a lot of hate in the last couple of weeks saying I think these are absolute crap. Well, there you go. Gaps down, ENPH. We warned you guys. I mean, how do you expect solar to do well when the economy's slowing, oil's going to be dropping, people are not going to be installing solar, governments are going to have to cut their subsidies. I mean, just a matter of if, not when. Now, again, how low these go, I don't know. I mean, if you're short this, congrats. That's for you. I don't even need to dig into it too much. Sedge, got earnings coming up, if I remember correctly. Yeah, not today, but yeah, all of it looks bad. First Solar, talked about the 200 level holding. Did it again. We'll see. I mean, they have earnings tomorrow after the close. If it pops, I think it's a short. People will probably be like, what? What are you talking about? Gotta do this. All right, just keep an eye on it. Let's end it with oil, because oil, global growth, slowing. UNG, people want natural gas. I'm like, God, how many times do I have to say, just let it play out? Especially with the UNG that has like this decaying mechanism part of the ETF. It's just bad. Bad. XOP, again, I don't know if Sam's listening or some of the people that were talking about oil and gas. We told you, watch out up here. Things that don't look bullish, right? ExxonMobil should be on fire. They have earnings on Friday. Up against the monthly trend line. Yeah, the rest of the market not looking so hot. Oxy, same thing. Here you go. I mean, here's Buffett selling calls on him buying more. Maybe I think that's what that day was. But either way, I mean, just PXD down after hours on earnings at 217. Again, they rumored up on ExxonMobil buying them. If ExxonMobil does not buy them, look out below. EQT, I mean, all these names, they look just sloppy, choppy, going nowhere fast. Just let them play out. Again, we like natural gas in time for exportation reasons, because I think it's a cleaner fossil fuel to the transition in green maybe, but man, I love this name. I mean, it's acting so well this last year. Congress is buying it, but let's let the economy play out. Let things slow down. Let people panic and sell this thing. So if you have any questions, please reach out. If you have time, please check out the daily market chat we had, review, whatever earlier, like live market chat, sorry. Well worth it. I think an hour of just chatting about a lot of things different in the market as real time. I think it helps out. If you have any questions about real estate, now again, do not be hesitant to reach out, because if you're looking to sell your house, you better have a game plan. I'd love to help out, find a great agent for you, because not all agents are the same. It's just like every trader, guru, doctor, lawyer, they're not all the same. If you trust that I'm looking out for your best interest, like all of you guys know, I'll do the best I can, right? And if I can't, I'll tell you that, and I'll help out some other way, because give to receive, right? Like, you gotta like help others to help yourself, kind of thing. That's how I've always looked at it, right? Like, the more you help, more abundance, the abundant mindset. So, but going forward in the market, just keep in mind, FOMC next week. Tomorrow you got the GDP data, you got some more earnings, you got more earnings after with Amazon for Solar, Intel, letter X. Friday you've got unemployment, cost index, personal income spending, PCE core, Chicago PMI, U of M, ExxonMobil, CCJ, Chevron earnings coming up. I mean, there's a lot coming up, but does the market have to dump? I personally think it's probably going to move slowly down with some sort of pump at some point. Is it pump on the FOMC day? Is it pump middle of next week into Apple? That would be my guess. And then after that, I think it's game over. So if you have any questions, please reach out. Again, check out the website, www.thetradingagent. Please sign up for the newsletter. Again, I'll probably send something out every 1 or 2 weeks. If you're not a part of the Discord room, get involved. I appreciate all the love, support, the generous donations. And again, if you're struggling, use the Calendly link. Let's talk. I mean, I don't mind taking 30 minutes just to hang out and talk and see how I can help you, because a lot of this stuff is mostly psychological, y'all. Let's be honest. Trading isn't hard. You get into a trade, you set a stop, you define your risk, you have your plan. If you can't execute that and you're buying way too many options, you're doing some stuff that's crazy gambling, well, guess what? If you're going to play this like a gamble versus a business, you're going to lose at some point. If you're not that good, you're going to lose a lot. And that's the goal, is to not lose a lot, because think of your trading balance, stock trading balance, as a stock. You want it higher highs and higher lows. You want it to look like this over time. And then over time, breakout. So, all right. I appreciate everyone. I will not be around tomorrow, as I said. Be back on Friday. We'll connect soon. Hit me up if you got any questions. Talk to you later.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.